Welcome to the new episode of the Cyber Threats Radar podcast. Today we're doing a really critical deep dive for you, our listener. We're focusing squarely on disaster recovery solutions. Specifically, how do you actually protect that essential mission-critical SaaS data, especially when, everything, even the cloud, feels, pretty volatile these days.
It really is volatile, and there's this common misconception, isn't there, that just because your data is in the cloud, it's somehow automatically safe.
Right, like magic.
Exactly. But that's a really dangerous way to think. Our sources confirm it loud and clear. Data is still vulnerable. We're talking everything from actual physical disasters hitting data centers to plain old system failures. But the biggest threat, undeniably, these incredibly sophisticated, relentless cyber attacks we keep seeing.
And we are seeing the fallout constantly. Just this year, think about the massive breaches hitting huge companies. AT&T, Ticketmaster, Dell, Snowflake, United Healthcare.
Yeah, list goes on.
And these aren't small incidents, are they? They're causing millions, tens of millions in losses, plus huge amounts of downtime. Paralysis, really.
Precisely. And it's not like the threat landscape is just sitting still. It's actively growing, aggressively expanding. We looked at some recent research from Spin.AI, actually.
Oh, yeah. What did they find?
Well, it really highlights this growth. They uncovered, get this, an additional 14.2 million victims just from one campaign, the Red Direction browser extension attack.
Wow, 14.2 million more.
Yeah, it just shows the scale and, frankly, the speed of these threats. It's evolving faster than a lot of companies are prepared to handle.
That context is, it's pretty chilling. So, okay, before we jump into the solutions themselves, let's nail down a clear definition. When we talk about a disaster recovery solution, are we just talking about a fancy backup? Or is it something more fundamental?
It's fundamentally more. Backup is absolutely essential. It's the foundation, right? The raw copy of your data. But a DR solution, that's the complete plan for recovery.
The blueprint.
Exactly, the blueprint. It's a whole platform, something like, say, One's spin backup solution. Its entire purpose is twofold. Protect the data, yes, through regular automated backups, and provide the tools and processes you need to get systems back online quickly. The goal isn't just storage. It's immediate business continuity.
Business continuity. Okay, that's the key phrase. So beyond just, avoiding financial disaster, what are the main strategic reasons, the pillars maybe, that make having a solid DR strategy non-negotiable right now? Our sources mentioned 5 key areas.
Right. These 5 pillars really define the value. First, and probably the most obvious one, is business continuity. Just getting operations back up and running fast after something happens.
Minimizing that downtime.
Absolutely. Second is data protection. This means safeguarding your files from corruption, someone accidentally deleting something important, or, crucially, protecting against things like ransomware and other malware. The third pillar, this is a huge one for any business today, regulatory compliance.
Yes. This is where it gets tricky, doesn't it? We're talking about needing to meet strict rules like GDPR globally or specific industry mandates like HIPAA for healthcare and proving reliability through things like SOC 2 Type 2 certification.
Exactly right. You simply can't operate in many regulated markets without a demonstrable DR plan. It's a requirement. Compliance affects where your data lives, how long you keep it, how fast you can recover it, and how you prove all that through audits.
And vendors need to support this directly.
They have to. Our analysis showed vendors like Spin.AI, for example, specifically build their platforms with compliance baked in. They support standards like SOC 2 Type 2, PCI DSS, and HIPAA. It provides that necessary legal and operational assurance.
Okay, so there's 3 pillars. What are the last 2?
The final 2 are just as vital. Customer trust, which you build by being reliable, by being there when customers need you, and simple cost savings. Less downtime directly equals fewer financial and operational losses. It's an investment in resilience, really.
Okay, so we've established the why. Now let's shift to the how. The world of DR solutions isn't monolithic, right? There are different approaches. How are companies actually deploying these strategies? What are the main models out there? Maybe 5 primary types.
Yeah, we can basically break the fail down into 5 main categories, mostly based on where the infrastructure focus lies. You've got the traditional data center DR, which is all about protecting physical on-premise systems.
The old school approach.
Kind of, yeah. Then at the other end of the spectrum, you have cloud-based DR, which is hugely popular now. This uses cloud providers like AWS or Azure. You get scalability, it's off-site, and you don't manage the physical hardware.
Makes sense. What's in the middle?
In between, there's DARA's disaster recovery as a service. That's where a third party basically manages the whole thing for you. It's a hands-off service model. Then you have virtualized DR, using virtual machines for really fast system replication. And finally, there's hybrid DR. This is seeing massive adoption because it sort of combines the best of both worlds. Maybe some local storage for super fast restores of critical data, plus cloud backups for that longer term offsite redundancy.
I'd guess that the hybrid and pure cloud options are probably winning out for most businesses now,
Yeah,
just because of that flexibility and maybe speed.
that's exactly right. They scale much more easily as your data grows, and you avoid the big upfront capital costs you'd have with building out your own DR data center.
Okay, that sets the stage really well. So now for you, the listener, maybe trying to figure out which solution is the right one. Our sources kept highlighting a kind of checklist. Rather than just list 7 things, maybe we can group them. What are the core areas and the specific factors within them that any good DR solution has to deliver on?
Good idea. Let's group them. The first big theme is really about the operational mechanics. How does it actually work day to day? This covers the first two factors everyone mentions. Number one, you absolutely need regular automated backups. Get human error out of the equation. And number two, the solution must prioritize ease of recovery. Think simple, maybe even one-click restoration. Because if it's complicated or slow to recover, the backup itself doesn't help much when disaster strikes.
Yeah, backup you can't restore easily is pretty useless.
Yeah.
Okay, mechanics first. What's the second core theme?
Second theme is regulatory and environmental fit. Does it actually suit your specific situation? This covers factors 3, 4, and 5. Factor 3 is storage compliance. Does it help you meet laws like GDPR or HIPAA? This often means needing options for specific regional data storage or multiple locations.
Data residency.
Exactly. Factor 4 is environment support. Does it cover your environment? Pure cloud, on-prem, hybrid. The tool has to match where your data lives. And factor 5, absolutely non-negotiable today, is scalability and flexibility. It has to grow with you without forcing you into painful, expensive upgrades down the line.
Got it. Compliance, environment, scalability.
Yeah,
And the last theme I imagine is about the vendor themselves, vendor reliability.
precisely. That covers the last two factors, 6 and 7. Factor 6 is strong customer support. You need guarantees here, like defined response times. And factor 7 is just overall reliability. When things go wrong, you need total confidence that the vendor and their technology will actually work as advertised.
Okay, that's a much clearer framework. Mechanics, fit, and reliability. Let's use that now and actually dive into the 7 leading solutions our sources looked at. Let's start with Spin Backup from Spin.AI, which, as we noted earlier, really seems to specialize in that critical SaaS data piece.
Right, Spin Backup is definitely tailored for SaaS, speed, accuracy, security in that specific environment. A key thing they offer is automated ransomware detection and response RDR.
RDR. So it's not just backing up, it's actively looking for threats.
Exactly. It monitors for ransomware activity and can actually isolate the threat, the idea being to stop the encryption before it hits your backups. It's a proactive layer.
That sounds like a huge advantage, preventing the problem rather than just recovering from it. But when recovery is needed, how do they handle speed?
Speed is a major focus. They promise 247 support with a pretty tight 2-hour response window. And critically, their service level agreement, the SLA, for ransomware recovery specifically, is a market-leading 2-hour recovery time objective.
A 2-hour SLA for ransomware recovery? That's fast.
It's very fast. It drastically cuts down that disruption window from potentially days down to just hours. Plus, it covers a wide range of critical SaaS apps, Google Workspace, Microsoft 365, Salesforce, Slack, over 50 others, all managed from their single Spin One dashboard.
Okay, so the big pro for Spin Backup is that deep specialization, high-speed RDR, very fast SaaS recovery SLAs. The potential trade-off then is if you have a lot of legacy on-prem stuff, you might need something broader.
That's the trade-off, yes. It's laser focused on SaaS protection. Now, let's put the others in context using those same criteria we discussed.
Okay, let's talk Zerto.
Huh.
I gather the big thing is near real-time data sync.
That's their core strength. Zerto, which is part of HPE now, is famous for continuous data protection, or CDP. It basically journals changes constantly, letting you rewind and recover to almost any point in time. Super fast recovery, works across hybrid and multi-cloud.
Downtime.
The complexity and the price tag can be quite high. It might be overkill or just too expensive for smaller or even mid-sized businesses.
Got it. Next up, Druva.
Druva is interesting because it's 100% cloud native, built entirely on AWS. People praise it for being easy to deploy, and it has really strong built-in compliance and governance features.
Any limitations?
The main one is that reliance on AWS. It means you have fewer options for, say, offline recovery compared to some hybrid solutions.
Okay. Now, for users really focused just on the Microsoft and Google ecosystems, Backupify comes up a lot, especially in the mid-market.
Yeah, Backupify is very popular there. It's known for being easy to manage, often described as set it and forget it, and the pricing is generally competitive for what it does.
But the limitation is scope.
Exactly. It's pretty much restricted to just Google Workspace and Microsoft 365. If you rely heavily on Salesforce, Slack, or other SaaS apps, it's not going to cover you there.
Right. Moving up the scale a bit, Veeam is a huge name in this space. What's the kind of contradiction or balancing act with Veeam?
Veeam is incredibly powerful. It has a massive feature set, offers tons of flexibility across almost any environment, virtual, physical, cloud. The contradiction our sources point out is this. While there's a big supportive community around it, it's definitely not simple.
Requires expertise.
Significant technical expertise, yes. The pricing can be complex to figure out, and really getting the most out of it, especially if you're integrating older systems, requires careful configuration and know-how.
Okay. Then there's Rubrik. What's their angle?
Rubrik pushes a unified platform idea using policies to automate things, and they emphasize instant recovery. A unique aspect is their storage. They use their own immutable in-house vault, separate from the big public clouds like AWS or Azure.
And the cons for Rubrik.
Generally, it's seen as having a higher cost and somewhat complex licensing. Also, its protection for third-party SaaS apps beyond Microsoft 365 is noted as being more limited compared to others.
Right. Last one on the list.
Acronis. Acronis often targets mid-sized organizations. They really focus on a specific, very aggressive recovery time goal, 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Wow.
Yeah, speed is the focus. The potential downsides noted are that it can be quite resource-intensive to run properly, and the cost might be prohibitive for companies on the smaller end of that mid-market range.
Okay, laying them all out like that really highlights how specialized each vendor is. You definitely can't just pick the biggest name off the shelf.
Absolutely not. And that's the key takeaway for you, the listener. The best DR solution. It completely depends on your specific situation, your risk profile. You have to carefully match your unique needs, things like your budget, your team's technical skills, your specific environment mix, whether you're all cloud, hybrid, or still heavily on-prem, match all that to what each vendor truly specializes in.
So, boiling it all down, if you had to give core advice based on everything we've discussed, stripping away all the different features, what are the absolute must-haves?
I'd say focus relentlessly on three things. One, automated backups are table stakes. But two, you must look beyond just the backup to the recovery guarantee. That means scrutinizing those recovery time SLAs. How fast can you really get back online? And three, compliance. Ironclad support for frameworks like HIPAA and SOC 2 Type 2 has to be a primary filter. If a solution doesn't meet your specific regulatory needs, it's simply not the right fit, period.
Excellent summary. Okay, to wrap things up, let's leave you with a final thought to mull over. Given how sophisticated attacks like ransomware are becoming and how devastating downtime is, how often should your organization really be testing its recovery process? I mean, full end-to-end simulations, not just checking if the backup file was created successfully. Are you testing often enough? Thank you for listening. Stay safe.